great first half of the summer. Awesome. It's over. Now you have an opportunity to turn that ship around, like I said. Let's make it a phenomenal second half of the summer. And your attitude, even you bring it into tonight, some of you walk in the room like, oh boy, what the hell is this going to be about? Sweet, it's a good start. Like, so it's really going to be awesome if that's the attitude you came in with. So, just keep it in perspective. I know you know this, but this is so simple. The kids are number one all the time. All the time. How many people have ever flown JetBlue?
Oh yeah.
I am a lifetime JetBlue customer, and this, listen, I'm not kidding. This hasn't changed in 6 years, this slide. Because it's the best customer service piece I've ever seen in my entire life. So JetBlue has what in front of you as you sit down in the seat? TV, right? 41 channels of satellite, look back right for you. Okay. So, there I am, I'm sitting in the seat, empty seat, total stranger in the aisle, and the following piece comes on the JetBlue TV, and I literally laughed out loud, and the woman next to me was like, this guy's tapped. So this comes on the screen, and I'm a lifetime JetBlue customer because of this. And I'll tell you how I'll apply for camp in a second. But here's what it says. Thank you for flying JetBlue. Without you, we'd just be a bunch of TVs flying around the country. So true. You're like, yeah, that's pretty funny. What the hell does that have to do with camp? No-brainer. Look at this unbelievable, phenomenal facility you have. You've been trained really well. You're doing all this work to get ready for the second half of the summer. You do all this work, and then tomorrow afternoon, no girls show up. Some of you are like, okay. Keep going. Here's the deal, though. Here's the deal. You do all this work. The #1 reason you're here is for your kids. You gotta keep that piece of perspective throughout the second half of the summer. Just hold on. Here's a little example. Here's a great example. With all the stuff we did, please make a mental note. I didn't ask you to have fun. I didn't ask you to smile. I didn't ask you to laugh. But somehow the room got filled with like all 3 of those things. Hold on. So if you're like, we don't have the energy in July. Lie, and I just proved it to you. Because you're like, Good. Awesome. Great job, Jesse. Well done. Let's talk about group dynamics for a second. Because when I say get into a group, typically most people get into a circle. I've been in awkward groups where there's like a long line of 15 people and they're like, huh? What did you say? Or there's 1 or 2 people, this is great, I love doing circles. Because some people like are a little socially awkward and they're like, where do I put my hands? Do I look at the ground? Just chill. Like there's no pressure here. However, I'd like somebody in the group to kind of initiate, alright, this is what we're going to do, let's get started. Somebody in the group initiates. And your topics in your circles or in your numbers are simply this. #1, with kids, what's gone well and how can we get better? With each other, what's gone well so far this summer, how can we get better? And please define the term common sense. Now some of you laugh because you're like, where's he going with that one? I'll explain because you'd be amazed what some people think common sense is. So, those are your topics. You have 4 minutes and 4 minutes only. Do your best to get through all of them. Go to your cell phone number and join me. Patience over and over. I totally agree. And this is a great tool. You're like, Steve, give us something to help us. Awesome. That's why you have co-counselors. So if you have one kid that's absolutely driving you crazy, tell that to another staff member and say, look, I need your help here. Because don't do what Sean did one summer. I show up to do the midsummer slump. I show up at camp while camp's going on. I'm talking with the staff member at the midsummer slump. Campers are on camp. This kid comes up to Sean and goes, Sean, 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 Sean. While I'm talking to Sean, 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 Sean. In the back of my head, I'm like, oh my God, Sean, please acknowledge this kid. Sean, 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 Sean. And I have to finally say, Sean, I think you should acknowledge this kid. Turn to the kid and goes, what? Sean's got a little tone here, all right, working on it. Sean, did you call my name? Classic kid moment, right? Sean's response in front of the guy to help out with the midsummer slump is, if your name shut the hell up and get away from me, I did. How's your summer going, Sean? Right? Like this is the stuff that this is those kids that you're like, and initially you're like, this kid's the best. And then you're like, ugh, I get it. But please remember this. My whole perspective, I'm going to talk about this later, my whole perspective has changed. I have a 2-year-old son and another son coming in September, and I have to tell you this, right? My whole perspective has changed as a dad, because that kid that's driving you nuts is someone's daughter. So at the end of the day, and someday might be your daughter, you might have been the kid that drove staff crazy. Some of you are like, I definitely was. And aren't you so glad that people were patient with you? Just keep it in perspective that, like, big picture, that's the stuff we're talking about. What else? How'd you define common sense? Give me a couple. Just give me a couple. As a group, how'd you define it? Go. No one should have to explain it to you. One of the best ones I heard this summer is childlike knowledge everyone should have. Go. Okay, good. So know the common sense of your culture. So there you can't common sense. Very good. Go. Tends to be more useful than academia. But let me just hold on. We're going to get through a bunch. Let me tell you why I put it out there. Because of this. Because my nephew last summer, in the middle of the summer, his staff decided, because they were tired and wanted to mix it up, the staff at my nephew's summer camp decided to do this. They decided to have a blindfolded, unsupervised trust walk. Sweet. Okay, so my 11-year-old nephew does what an 11-year-old boy would do. He gets blindfolded, the staff kind of like chills and walks away. He doesn't follow the commands of his buddy who's supposed to be telling him what to do. He just starts running. And breaks his right big toe. Awesome. Okay, why? Because the staff didn't realize, hey, common sense, that's probably not a good idea. Because what's common sense to one person might be totally different to somebody else. I'll give you another example. How many of you are familiar with a corn maze? Corn maze? Right? Okay. You're like, who the hell is wrong with this? Corn maze. So, I'm 37, like I told you. For 35 years, I thought that the way you made a corn maze was simply there was some sort of, like a wire device, like a bucket truck, or like an apple picker or something, that with a person in it, looking down on the cornfield with a radio, directing the tractor as to how to make the corn maze and cutting the corn down. How many people are like, I'm on board with it? That's correct. That's all that's hard. They don't make corn mazes like that. How do they make them? Right, they just don't plant the seed in the places where you walk. Most of us right now are like, that's unbelievable. That's my takeaway. That's the best thing I learned tonight. Why do I tell you that story? Because, hi, for 35 years, it was common sense. Oh yeah, I thought at one point there was a helicopter communicating information. They just don't plant the seed there. Now all of you are like, oh yeah, that makes way more sense. Right. But for a long time, I believed something differently. So with a common sense standpoint, sometimes explaining things is totally necessary, whether you believe it or not. And a corn maze is a perfect example. I look at it this way too from a customer service standpoint. About 2 months ago, I was asked to do a training at a camp just outside of Chicago. I flew in around 8:30. I got to the subway at 10 minutes of 9, and the subway closed at 9 o'clock. I walk in, it's me and the girl across the counter. She's cleaning the counter. I said, hey, how's it going? No response. So I said, all right, let me rephrase the question. Hi, how are you? No response. I said, I'd like to order some dinner. She goes, what do you want? Here we go, great tone again, right? Okay. So I make my order and I said, listen, I was going to get toasted anyway. I wasn't just having her toasted to bust her chops. So she's like, you want it toasted too? Like I asked her to build the oven, right? Okay. So she makes this up, she stuffs it into the oven, and if you know nothing about Subway, it takes 33 seconds for their subs to go. So 20 seconds into it, smoke starts coming out of the oven. She opens it up and she had rushed so fast to make it that all the turkey and cheese had fallen off and started burning in the graves of the oven. And she turns to me and she goes, "It fell apart, want to make it again?" I'm like, "Yes, I would." Right? Okay. So she makes it again, she stuffs it in the bag, she puts the chips in the bag, and she literally rolls it at me and it falls off the counter onto the floor. So I have two choices here. I can pick it up and leave, or I can engage her, and I can never keep my mouth shut. So I pick up the sub and walk back in front of her and say, "I just want to let you know, about 3,000 people are going to hear the story this summer." She's like, "What?" I said, "You don't know what work that I did, but I talk about customer service and treating people well and good things, and I'm going to tell all the people I worked with this summer how bad the customer service was. Have a great night." Right? So, game changer to her? Probably not. Learning curve for us? Definitely. Because when your girls walk out the door in August, they are remembering the way you treat them in their customer service. I absolutely guarantee you that. Just keep that. The research that's out there today exists that the world, and the kids particularly, are reading your face. That's why I told her at the end of tonight, I'd be able to walk around the room and tell you whether or not you're great with kids. If your face is like this the entire night, chances are, like I said, you're exhausted, or you're just not a really fun person to hang out with. I do that all the time. I used to have people that look like that at camp, and I used to go up to them and say, "Are you happy?" And they'd be like, "Of course I'm happy." And I'd say, "Then why don't you tell your face?" Right? I used to get this all the time. People used to come up to me after presentations and say, "Steve, what we did is nothing what I imagined." And my response would be like, "What?" Because before I started, I looked like this. Get in the zone. Start. Really get in the zone. Get over yourself. Oh my God. Like big picture, that aspect. And Harvard University has shown this research. They started a school of positive psychology that proves this. It's really simple. If someone smiles at you that you don't know, that randomly smiles at you, it takes most humans a maximum of 5 seconds to at least do this. At least. A smile makes a huge difference.